Magic the Gathering's Antiquities set was released March 4th, 1994, and if you're not paying attention to this set right now, you should be. In the world of MTG finance, staying ahead of the curve can make the difference between paying $5 for a card or paying $50 for a card. Welcome back, everyone. MTG Moxman here. Thanks for hanging out with me today as we go over Antiquities and the newer sets that are linked to it this year in 2022. Now, for those who don't know Antiquities, it came out in 1994. It's an old set, and I wouldn't be surprised if some of the newer viewership has never heard of this set. Small block set. We have 15 million card print run. It's tiny. There are 18 cards in it that are on the reserve list. But this year, we have newer sets coming out that will probably be tied to Antiquities. So for those of you who like to invest, this is a good video for you. For those of you who might want to buy a few cards to beat the curve and save yourself some money if these cards spike, this could be the video for you. For those of you who just want to hang out here and see what's going on, hey, welcome to the party. First off, let me show you the cards that are on the reserve list. Let's pop to that part first. And here's the list of cards. There are 18 on the reserve list. We have the Weak Stone with 93,000. Then you'll see the Urza's Mitre, that has 31,000. And you'll see those numbers going back and forth through this whole list. Because if it's a really rare card, there was only 31,000 printed. If it's a not so rare card in the reserve list, it has 93,000. But guys, that is not a lot of cards. We're not talking a big dashing amount of cards. When you compare it to today's standards of printing, this is a flea speck. It's a dot in the ocean. Now the good news is, those of you who want to get some of these amazing old cards, even if it's not the reserve list ones, they're cheap. You can still get them for $1 or $2. It's not going to cost you an arm and a leg. Very affordable cards for you to grab. If you want to get some of the reserve list ones, we'll go over some of those today in the video. Don't worry, just stick around. I'll talk about some of the sales figures you can look forward to and some of the possibilities that could happen if some of these cards go off with newer cards in newer sets. And I'm talking about Commander players. There's a lot that could happen. In the last couple of years, Wizards has been integrating sets together. They've made cards in Standard, but they've made them to work in Commander. Opponent versus opponents. Casting costs, legendary creatures, better Commander decks. They are thinking across multiple fields when they are now marketing these cards for us as players. Understanding that can save you money. When we take a look at the sets coming up, look at number 2 slide here. All right, we got Dominaria United coming out in September. Okay, so September 2022, we've got the next standard set coming in. All right, and at that point, we have a whole bunch of sets rotating out. But when you look at that, it's Dominaria United, but it's happening on Dominaria. Okay, just like the set Dominaria 2018 brought back all kinds of famous legendary creatures and places on Dominaria, you can bet Dominaria United will bring back a whole host of characters, themes, and mechanics that we are familiar with. Wizards is betting on it. And when you look back to Antiquities, there will be flavor text or cards directly derived from each set, relating to each set. It's important. And then after that, in November, we have got the Brothers' War, a prequel, taken from the point of people around them during the Brothers' War. Remember, it's not the actual Brothers' War happening. It's a prequel of stuff that was happening during the Brothers' War from other people's perspectives. But it's happening during that time. And Antiquities will be linked to that. So when you link an old set like that, it is going to start driving up the value of the cards. It is going to have certain players saying, hey, this could have a really good value to it. I'm looking at this card saying, there could be a twist here. This may now work in a Commander deck if you link this old reserve list card or this old card that really wasn't that great, and we link that with some new cards they made in Dominaria United or inside the Brothers' War, and now we've got something for our Commander deck. Now we've got something for our Legacy Vintage decks. That's the way things seem to be going right now. You have to understand that so you can save the money, or if you're an investor, choose which products to invest in. I will be buying multiple boxes, if not cases, of Dominaria United as well as the Brothers War. I just can't help myself. I know they're going to be good sets. I know they're going to knock it out of the park, and I will be buying it. I'll probably be buying draft, set, and collector boxes for this one because you guys know, like I do, they're going to spread it around. There's going to be some good stuff in there. And if there isn't, well, then, you know, the egg's on my face. But I just don't think it's going to happen. My gut usually steers me very well in the right direction, and I always listen to that gut. Now, when we're taking a look at some of these old cards, look at this one, Haunting Winds. So Haunting Winds from Antiquities comes in at $40 Canadian near mint. The average price is $31.23 US. The market price is $32.53 US, and it's €22.57 to get that card into your house. Now it's 1 black, 3 others, okay? 3 generic mana, amazing. This is a cheap card to get out. And look what this thing does. Each time an artifact in play is tapped, or its activation cost is paid, Haunting Wind deals 1 damage to that artifact's controller. It is not triggered by continuous artifacts. And the flavor text was so iconic back then. These devices lured so many spirits that sometimes entire battlefields would become haunted all at once. Come on. Tell me that isn't amazing. They really knew how to put the kind of story in the background there, right? That card is cheap right now. $40, it's cheap. It's cheap. It's going to stay there? It's going to be available at that price a year from now, 2 years from now, 5 years from now? Nobody can tell you for sure. But if it's a card I'm after, I'm going to buy it now before things get a little bit too close to those dates where the spoilers start coming out and people start realizing some of these cards are interconnected. Best to do your homework and look at those cards or watch my channel more often and find out, because it's very fascinating. Now, when you look at more expensive cards, when we start jumping up there and you look at Candelabra Tunnels, this card is $2,000 Canadian. You're paying a lot of money. The average price is $1,495 US. That market price is $1,468.97 US. And it's €904.23 to get that card to your house. 31,000 copies made. It's a single casting cost artifact where you can untap X lands by tapping X lands. Okay? And a card like that back in the day, we abused this thing all over the place. We used it with Mana Flares. People used it with Mishra's Workshop to untap it multiple times. Guys, it got nutty. That's why the Candelabra can just be a devastating card inside certain... And that's why it's worth so much money. I remember before 2020, that thing was like $400 or $500 still. People who missed out, I'm sorry you missed out. I did call it and say, hey, it's there. And you look back now and you go, $2,000. That's a lot of cash. It's only going to go higher. This isn't the end. So when people ask you, hey, it's going to go higher. Okay? I'm willing to bet on it. Want to bet a Mox Amber out there? Huh? That in 5 years it won't be the same price? Oh, curiosity killed the cat. Nobody can predict that for sure. But all it takes is them to make another Tawnos character. Bring in a type of Tawnos who activates his cards a little bit better or faster or quicker or reduces casting costs. Who knows? Wizards has lots of ways of messing with stuff when they want to and making a set valuable when they need it to be valuable. Remember that. And that can drive the price of the reserve list cards that are in Antiquities. And it doesn't even have to be reserve list. Even old cheap cards like Colossus of Sardia, that thing was like scary back in the day. 9/9 for 9. Now most people would agree that Colossus of Sardia is not relevant by today's standards in Commander or any other format unless you're maybe playing old school, got an Instill Energy. But guys, don't put anything past Wizards. You have to look outside the box when you're looking for value. We have Dominaria United. We've got the Brothers War coming up. All it would take to make a card like Colossus of Sardia great again is Land of Sardia. Legendary land comes into play, taps for 1 colorless mana. Or you can untap a target tapped artifact creature. And it gets +1/+1 first strike. Whatever you want to give it. They can make those old cards good. And when you know that that could happen, you will start looking at the set of Antiquities a little bit differently, just like I do. And you'll start picking up cards that just in case, you may have liked them, admired them, and never bought them before, but realizing Wizards could mess with them and do something crazy, make those cards relevant and powerful again, it makes you want to buy them and get them out of the way. Do the damage now. Reserve list or a non-reserve list card. Who knows what will happen with Yoshin Soldier? We don't know. But don't take the chance. When you're an investor looking for these deals, you're going to buy them and hold on to them and hope something great happens to that card. If you're a person who just loves the card, you might be buying it to avoid the rush or the increase that could happen at some point. With these new sets coming up, I'll be sure to be buying probably a case of each of them. I'll probably get a couple of collector boxes to hold on to and a couple to open. It's a lot of money, but I've been waiting for it this year, and this is what I'm going to be spending a lot of my money on. I know what I want to buy. Do you? Do you actually know which set you're most interested in? Have you made the purchases you're looking forward to making? Because a set like this, when you look at cards that they had like Meekstone and Mightstone. All right, I think I have them here. Hold on. We got Meekstone. All right, we got the Mightstone right here. So here's the Mightstone. Now, this thing's 20 bucks Canadian, moderately played. $16 is the average, 17 for the market, 12 euro to get that card to your house. Antiquities, reserve list card, okay? When you look at the next one, and by the way, this card just gives +1/+0 to all attacking creatures for 4. It's not some amazing card. When you look at the next one, this is the Weakstone, the opposite of the Mightstone. All attacking creatures get -1/-0. And it's almost the same price. But these are the two cards that Urza and Mishra were holding on to. You won't see those cards coming back again. Old nostalgic players will want to buy them. They'll go on eBay. They may buy a BGS 9.5 and spend $500 to get it. But some investor, some flipper saw the value there and made sure to get some of those graded. Pretty smart, right? And although you may not see the Meekstone and Mightstone in that form, you see them holding them in the promo ads, the posters. You'll see one in each person's hand. Who's to say they won't give us different versions of it that somehow interact with the originals? Something to keep in mind. You never know where Wizards is going to go, but if you start thinking like them, you can put your money toward more effective purchasing power. Your investments will be made knowing which cards you think will be going up in value and which sets you believe to be valuable. When I look at Antiquities and I want to buy a booster pack, you think I'm not tempted to spend the $1,000 to get a pack? But I always stop myself and say, that's like a case in something. That's a case of the new Brothers War. And that's what holds me in check. Thanks a lot for tuning in, everyone. I hope you enjoyed the video today. There's a lot of good investments and great cards out there. Make sure you're buying the right ones for you. And of course, guys, a big shout out to all the fantastic patrons on the channel. Patrons make the world go round. Guys, it's awesome. Patrons rock the world. They make these videos happen. Thanks again for that support, everyone. Hey, you guys made it to the end of the video. Guess what we're going to do? We're going to play a little game. You ready? Don't leave yet. If you made it this far, you want to stick around. First of all, here's the Circle of the Moon Druid going in the 10K box. Then, I'm going to pick this box up. Let's see what we got in here. This thing goes back a long way. We got some... Look at all those cards. I wonder who tracks all these. Who will be the ones? Then we got some Theros collector. We got some more Theros there. We got a Caracas in here. There's a Modern Horizons 2 collector box in here. We got some Modern Horizons stuff in here. You got some good stuff. Can't wait till we get to that 10K, guys. It's going to be a good time. I know. Do you like that little sneak peek there? You don't know why it's important yet, but it's going to be. Guys, have an awesome day. Thanks for hanging out with me today. You guys are the ones who make it till the end. Almost nobody makes it till the end but you guys. You know what we're going to say? Sauce. Today's word is going to be sauce because I didn't want to spill sauce on the Moxman shirt. Guys, have an awesome day, man. Thanks for tuning in. You guys are awesome. You are. Stop saying you're not. Don't argue with me. Awesome. As long as you clean up the popcorn you just dropped on the floor. Come on, man. Clean up after yourselves.